I'm reading volume 19 of JJK, and we finally got to this iconic panel, and this has probably been my favorite volume of JJK so far, art-wise, story-wise. It's my favorite volume post-Shibuya. This read-through starts off with learning that Higuruma is just talented as hell. He's good in the classroom and he's good on the field. That's why he's able to give Yuji a challenge. He's hitting him with his gabble, and it looks like this gabble is cursed energy. Like, he can transform this gabble into anything and teleport it anywhere. He keeps on smashing the ground trying to hit Yuji, and he does hit Yuji on his arm. And then Yuji jumps out the way to get some space from him. We learn more about Higuruma. He's just a prodigy. He knows how to use his domain expansion. He knows how to use his cursed energy. He's killing curses. He's killing people in the culling game. He says that Yuji can't use cursed energy. His domain takes away cursed techniques, but since Yuji has no cursed technique, he just can't use cursed energy. Even still, he's able to stand toe-to-toe with Higuruma with no cursed technique. Then he turns his gabble into a pole. He attacks Yuji, but Yuji dodges and he goes to the side. He tries to grab the weapon, but Higuruma transforms it. He transforms it back into a gabble, then Yuji gets some space from him and kicks the tub to Higuruma, but Higuruma gets ready to hit it, smashes it, and Higuruma arises from the water. He hits Yuji with a big ass gabble. Higuruma is surprised that Yuji's still able to keep up. But Yuji's on his last legs. But then he thinks about Higuruma's cursed technique and he says, Higuruma! And he says he wants to redo it one more time. He wants a second trial. So he goes back into his domain expansion, and the Shikigami says Yuji Itadori is guilty of killing people on October 31st of 2018, the Shibuya incident, and Yuji accepts that he killed all of them even though it wasn't him, but he still has that guilt on his soul. And the Shikigami says death penalty, so Yuji's gonna die. The next chapter starts off with this dude trying to help Higuruma become a lawyer or a prosecutor or becoming a judge, and then the Shikigami says death penalty. Then his gabble turns into something called the Executioner's Sword, and anybody who's hit with this sword will die. Higuruma is just in his head, and he's like, Itadori, everybody has flaws, everybody's hideous, no matter how noble your soul is. He's saying all the dark stuff is actually dark, like there's no light ahead of you. While he's yapping, Yuji throws a bunch of chairs at him, but he finds Yuji's jacket and that distracts him, and Yuji is behind him and he gets ready to punch him, but he misdirects us and throws his shirt actually, and then he goes to kick Higuruma's feet, but Higuruma jumps and Yuji goes for a punch, he goes for a strike, who will hit? And then we go back to the flashback and Higuruma declines this dude's offer of becoming a judge, but Higuruma says he's just not suited for it because everybody has flaws. He's like, why the hell did Yuji admit to killing those people when it really wasn't him? It was actually Sukuna. He's like, why did he admit? Like, he's just so confused by this, and he takes away the Executioner's Sword. But Yuji couldn't stop his punch, and he punched him in the gut, and Higuruma goes flying. Yuji's like, why did you stop? And Higuruma's like, you're innocent, bro. Yuji still takes fault, and he's like, it's my fault, I was weak. But Higuruma's like, bruh. Like, people as weak as you are probably still around. He's like, bro, just sit down, I'll give you my 100 points. He's like, Itadori, have you ever killed anybody out of your own volition? And he says, I have. And he says, I see, that must have felt the worst. Higuruma has killed people, but he still feels bad about it. Then the next chapter, we see him say, Kogane, add a rule, make the rule that you can transfer points between players. But after that, he immediately dips and says, see ya, Yuji. Yuji's like, we could use your help, but he's like, nah, once the culling game ends, I'm just gonna turn myself in. This was just a new experience for him, he experienced it, and now it's over. He leaves, and Yuji just contemplates it. Then we cut back to Megami, and this guy's like, you pass, you pass. This dude is just like, you're strong, you should ally with us, Megami. He's trying to give him information on Kenjaku. He's like, what is the culling game really? Like, what is it about? And he's saying how the game has come to a standstill. All the colonies have good players. They're just killing people left and right. It's best if they all ally together and use all their points together so they can add new rules. And all the people that are in the culling game have been scattered around just to make the power levels more level. But the whole reason the culling game exists is because Kenjaku has some type of plan. Kenjaku is using all the cursed energy from everybody in the culling game to create a ritual. But we have no idea what the hell it is, we're just playing along. Megami's like, if you only kill weak people, how is she still here? He's like, I have my own reasons, she does things for me. But Megami's kind of done with this. He's like, give me your points and I'll think about joining you. Out of nowhere, this guy with claws pulls up and tries to attack Megami. But Megami disappears and we're like, where are they at? But we look down here and Megami is just a menace. He's looking like Toji right here, just pulling this man down. He throws him off the roof and the demon dog goes for this guy. But as this guy's falling to the ground, and just adds another layer of that impact. He falls straight to the ground and he's out. And Megami's like, Remy, never show your face to me again. And then we see the demon dog get stabbed and he tells Megami, you may not kill, but we gotta kill to get points. He says if you don't fight with the intent to kill, you're gonna regret that when you die. And then we see an eyeball drop down and an explosion happens. That's the end of the chapter. But yeah, guys, this was a great read-through, and I've already read ahead to this fight of Megami versus these guys. This is my favorite part of JJK post-Shibuya. Like, I'm loving the artwork, I'm loving the paneling, I'm loving the writing, I like the character. It's really interesting to see, and I actually felt like Megami was gonna die here, but you know what happens. But guys, let me know what you think of this read-through of JJK Volume 19.